How come everyone but Hollywood knows how to make good zombie movies nowadays? Just off the top of my head, we've recently had The Girl with All the Gifts, Train to Busan, Wormwood, now this. What did we get from Hollywood, huh? Oh, that's right, Day of the Dead Bloodline. Today, let's talk about an Irish horror drama, The Cured. This is the first full-fledged feature film from writer-director David Freyne, and I gotta say, what a debut. The movie is set in post-zombie outbreak Ireland, which is being torn apart by social conflict. Basically, the title of the film comes from the fact that 75% of all zombie population got cured, and what we see on screen is the aftermath of that. Discrimination, mistreatment, and violent protests. The plot follows Senan, a man who got rehabilitated and released on the devastated streets of Dublin, as he goes back to the house of his deceased brother's wife Abby and struggles to live normally in this new world on the brink of rebellion. A couple of years back, there was a British TV show called In the Flesh, which had a pretty similar concept, but I have not seen it. So for me, this idea of social injustice among the post-outbreak communities is pretty novel and exciting. I'm actually very impressed with what David Freyne managed to achieve here. If you're looking for a zombie flick with a lot of action, just watch something else, because this is clearly a social drama first and a zombie horror movie second. The most interesting and inventive part of the plot is the fact that everyone remembers their zombie past. Even after being treated, people still recall every single human they murdered and devoured while functioning as flesh-eating monsters. Essentially, among the many themes that the film tries to touch, both on the grand and personal levels, the idea of guilt is predominant throughout. The burden of forced culpability runs through Senan as he awakes after nightmares which were too real for him to forget. The same can be said about other cured citizens, but Freyne approaches that from a bit of a different perspective. Connor, Senan's friend since the outbreak, becomes motivated by vengeance and decides to take a different stance, so he forms a cured alliance after experiencing both verbal and physical forms of social abuse. Despite the fact that there's certainly a lot of characters in the movie, the main focus is on the central trio, Senan, Abby, Connor, and the reason why this dynamic works so well is the cast. Sam Keeley is absolutely terrific, especially given the fact that the story here is mostly a character study of Senan. Playing the role of Abby is Ellen Page. I've always felt like she has a lot of range, but just doesn't get the role she truly deserves, so it's great to see her finally shine on screen. Also convincingly menacing is Tom Vaughan-Lawlor as Connor, who strikes that perfect balance between creepy self-loathing, violent narcissism, and utter insanity. Amidst the ethos of violent rebellion, it can be easy for a filmmaker to lose focus of the narrative, and to some extent that is true for The Cured. Some ideas get brushed over in favor of a personal vendetta and spectacle, which is especially true for the film's climactic and tense third act. Here, the movie fully embraces its zombie roots and goes for a full-blast 28 weeks later style run-and-gun finale, which does work in context, but certainly feels a bit dissonant after the methodical drama of the first two-thirds of the film. Also questionable is some use of shaky cam. Don't get me wrong, it's perfectly understandable why it would be used during an action scene or while running around zombie-infested Dublin, but it was a bit jarring to see it during a simple dialogue exchange. However, I would love to compliment the excellent sound design and soundtrack in the film. They add a lot to the bleak and desolate feel of the movie. In the age of The Walking Dead, it is heartwarming to see a zombie film that is not only incredibly gloomy and atmospheric, but also thought-provoking and contemporary. I would like to very much commend the director for fully committing to his vision, because The Cured clearly feels like a strictly personal, untouched film, and even despite its shortcomings, it is still a very impressive, bold first feature. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you like your zombie horror movies original and fresh, well, then this is the one for you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of The Cured in the comments below. I would love to discuss the symbolism and different metaphors in the film, so go at it. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked what I had to say, subscribe to see more reviews from yours truly, and I'll see you again very soon. Have a good weekend.